Right, afternoon, people. Yeah, this YouTube platform continues to grow for me, which is fantastic. I should have done this years ago, in fairness. Let's try and bring you some solutions to what's going on in this country right now in April 2020, the year of double vision. Nice to see you. We've got some people popping in the room now. So I want to give you some stuff that will protect you and your family. Now, I want to show you this, to be fair. When a few of you pop in, and we'll see who's happening, what's happening, and who's coming in the chat room. Come, let's have a chat. Let's have a lovely chat. We're going to be talking about Constitution is the solution. It has protected this country before, and I'm pretty sure at some point in the near future it will protect this country again. We're in a sorry state. Not the people. The people of this country are fantastic. It's the system's got well out of control. And it's now become force, hasn't it? We've now got a situation where we're forced to do things. And that's not proper. Not proper at all. So we need to do something about that. We need to do something about that. Let me just share this 2 seconds. I'm going to share this live stream link out to my social media platforms. And then hopefully we'll attract a few more people to pop in and have a chat with us this afternoon. Nice to see you. Thanks for tuning in. So let's just share this out. It's Friday afternoon. Everyone's probably out catching some vitamin D as they ought to be. I want to talk to you about a little job that I've just done for a couple. This woman just told me she was 86 and originally from London, from Poplar. And her husband was a Kentish man, and they met years ago. And they'd been married for many years and had quite a few kids. So, and he just said to me, he said, this is the government's up to something. He said, we live through wars. He said, we've never seen anything like this. He said, what do you mean you can't go out? You can't? I'm like, yeah. So the older generation will absolutely get this. Right, so we just shared these links out. We've got one watching, but anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm just trying to grow this channel. We're just trying to grow. Let's see if we get a few more in. If not, I'll pop back on later this evening. So this couple, this couple I've just done some bits and bobs for. They've just said to me, she said, I lived in Poplar when the Blitz was happening and doodle bugs and incendiaries. She said, my dad, the air raid siren sounded for the alarm was over and that we could all come out again. And this incendiary had come down and it was heating up this side of this air raid shelter. And as he touched the door to open it, it took a layer of skin off his hands because the incendiary was blazing outside, but not inside the air raid shelter. She said, if that had been a proper bomb, it would have been blown to smithereens. She said, thankfully, it was incendiary. What do you think of the lockdown? Emma Forbes. Hello, Em. Nice to see you. What do you think of the lockdown and last for? It's a con. And we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about... See, I noticed this years ago when the police went from a service to a force. I paid attention. I thought, that ain't right. All public servants should be in servitude, in service. It should never have been called a force. And my humble opinion is the police look more like a Gestapo Stasi force now, and they're forcing you to do things, and that's not our way. Listen, this country, England, Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales, doesn't do good on oppression. We've never tolerated it, never. Throughout our history, we've never tolerated it, from the Vikings, the Romans, you name it. The Britons years ago were a really tough group of individuals. They were proper tough. So we have this situation now where the police generally think that we're theirs, and the system thinks that we're theirs and that we're their property, and we're clearly not. Now, I'll walk around with this in my wallet at all times, and this is my sovereign decree, which is done in the Christ unity consciousness. And if anyone in the system, public servant, wants to play with me, fantastic. I don't mind taking their orders, because I will then furnish them with an invoice and they can pay the costs. This last page is a document called Motu Proprio. If anyone wants sovereign decrees, message me. I'll put you in touch with the people that do them. And I got this signed and sealed up by a solicitor, and even he, when he sealed it, he went, "I like that." He said, "That's really, really, really good." So what we have to do is make a distinction right here and right now of what government can control and what it can't control. And the only thing that government can control is what it creates. All right. But government never created you. And that's a fact. I don't care what you call it, God, Krishna, whatever. That's who created you. And then people say, yeah, but you come from your parents. We'll say, well, where did they come from? And you keep going back through the lineage, and in the end you go, oh, yeah, there must have been something that made us. So we're living, breathing souls. And to give you a fact, the government, when they produced this document, and I'm just here for truth and wisdom, people. I'm not here to con anybody. May God strike me down if I try and con someone. This birth certificate is, they actually register the afterbirth. Sick, isn't it? This is appertaining to the afterbirth. There's two parts of you that come into this world. It's deep, isn't it? How deep is it? It's really, really deep. Now, I'm someone that basks in freedom, liberty. That's me. I love it. I can't get enough of freedom and liberty. And I want it for you. I want it for everybody. But we don't have that now. We have privileges. To use our roads, we have to have a privilege. We have to have a license. And there's no sense in a lie. Everything's flipped reversed. Simon Lawkins, hello, mate. Nice to see you. How are you? Right. So yesterday, I'm going to talk about this, and we'll see how many people stay in the room. Now, what's that doing? We find ourselves, it says in the end times that the world will be entrenched in people called scoffers, right? People that scoff at the Holy Bible, which is fine. That's your prerogative if that's what you want to do. Oh, this is who made you, all right? You wasn't made by government. This piece of paper was. This is all they control, but this is not you. This is your chip to play in the game of life that we know it. In the commercial world, this is your chip to play. And we're the only being here on this planet that needs something like this. We don't actually need it. This is for our benefit, our beneficial interest. And when it's not benefiting us, we should absolutely say, oh, no, we're walking away from that. We don't want to know. That's what we should be doing, because we are the beneficial title holder to this, right? There's no other man living, breathing that can claim to have title over this apart from me. Only people that are acting as agents, all right? Do you regret Johnson being PM? No, I don't. To be honest with you, Em, I don't pay much attention to politics. I really don't. Politics ain't it's just not my bag. Politics just, I don't even acknowledge that they're existing. I just want, I want a world, a manifest a world where people do right by people, that no one's in charge, no one has power, because no one truly does have power, because we're a creation of the divine, whatever it is you want to call it. I don't want to get into that, but we're now in a time period where it says here, throughout scripture, we've read about scoffers. That times go on, there'll be more and more of them. There are massive, loads and loads of people out there now that we call scoffers, all right? And it clearly says, the Bible says, don't make company with scoffers. If you desire to be a disciple of Christ, you will be scoffed at by the world because you take a stand against evil. That is so true, right? That is so true. If you take a stand against evil, you will be ridiculed. You will be laughed at. You will be scoffed at, right? And scoffing goes on all the time. You will get persecuted for Christ, but there will be a time when every scoffer will be trembling in fear and think back about every idle word that came out of their mouth. God will never be mocked. That's true, right? That is true. So the world is full of scoffers right now. Oh, I don't believe, which is fine. That's your free will. You was given free will. M says electronic warfare, is any action being involved in the electromagnetic spectrum or directed energy to control the spectrum attack on enemy or impact? No, there's nothing. And that sky grid that Elon Musk has just thrown up into the atmosphere, which you can see going across the night sky now like a choo-choo train, is going to be massive for this 5G grid network, and it's dangerous. It says here, the last days, Jude chapter 1, 17, 20. Dear friends, remember what the apostle our Lord Jesus Christ said before. They said to you, in the last times, there will be people that laugh about God, following their own evil desires, which are against God. There are the people that would divide you, people who thoughts are only of this world, who do not have the Spirit. But, dear friends, use your most holy faith to build yourself up, praying in the Holy Spirit. It's true. It's true. It's true. Proverbs 19:29, punishment is made by mockers, and the backs of fools are made to be beaten. We're in this time, right, where we used to be a God-fearing nation, and there was a program on the BBC, and it was about something like what made England great, and it was that they said that England always had God on its side. Well, whatever that is, I don't know, but I don't really think we're at a point of that anymore. I don't. I really don't, and it's a shame. We've turned into some really evil, wicked kind of scenarios. So, as a point of fact, government can only control what it created, and it's a piece of paper, and it can't get no more simple than that, all right? But so many people out there, I've got friends, I say to them, you can't be Mr. because Mr's a dead piece of paper, lives in a loft, it's deaf, dumb and blind. And they go, what the fuck? They just can't, their brains won't let them tune in. So there are people like me here where we've ascended a little bit. We've deciphered, we've quietened the noise down and said, no, this isn't real. This isn't the real world. You've taken us out of our natural environment and our dominion, and that's not right. And it's like you were set free from Egypt, as in Deuteronomy. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Now, this is what England and most of the Western world is breaking right now on this lockdown thing. This is breaking the Universal Declaration of Rights, which was assembled on it come out, it was in Paris on December the 10th, 1948. And I'd imagine that this Universal Declaration came about because of the wars, you see, because of all the death and destruction and the wars and the way that man was at the time. That's why they brought this in, because the war finished in 45, 46. Some of the war ended in 47, I think, out in Africa and stuff. It went on for a bit. So, Article 1, all are born free, equal in dignity and rights. They are endowed with reason and conscience and should act towards one another in the spirit of brotherhood. Perfect. Where does that come from? It comes from here. That's what this tells you all about. Yeah, love thy brother as thyself, and don't trespass on your neighbour's property, and love thy neighbour as thyself. That's what it's all about. Article 2, everyone is entitled to all the rights and freedoms set forth in this declaration without distinction of any kind, such as race, colour, sex, language, religion, political or other opinions. You can go and find this online and check it out for yourself. Article 3, everyone has a right to life, liberty and security. Now, Article 4, no one should be held in slavery or servitude. Slavery and the slave trade shall be prohibited in all their forms. Well, this is slavery. You might not see it. I'm giving you the God's honest truth. That's a slave-bound document. Listen, and look what the police are doing to everyone now. Article 5, no one should be subjected to torture or to cruel, inhumane or degrading treatment or punishment. Look at how they're doing the cuffs. Look how they're making people bleed. Look how they're killing people in cells. England, and I hope the world holds us accountable, are breaching every part of that universal declaration. They're breaching it. They've become a Stasi, a law unto themselves. Well, everyone's equal to the law. No one's above it. Yeah? And it says, Article 7, all are equal before the law and entitled without any discrimination to equal protection. All are entitled to equal protection against any discrimination in violation of this declaration, against any incitement to such discrimination. Look at what the police are doing to everyone. It's disgraceful. Everyone has a right to an effective remedy. Where's you getting your remedies? You're not getting your remedies. You're not getting your remedies. Listen, you should be carrying, if you want to go out and about and the cops pull you over, you start waving these documents at them and say, you're breaching the convention rights, so I'm going to have you in court. Don't worry about it now. You crack on. You're going to make me suffer a tort today, but it's going to cost you. I'm coming for you. But I'll do it the proper way. It's not like you're acting like a Nazi, Stasi, Gestapo. I'm going to do this the proper way because I've got the law on my side. And that's what you should be doing. No one should be subject to arbitrary arrest, detention, or exile. Everyone is entitled to full equality, to a fair hearing by an independent and impartial tribunal in the determination of his rights and obligations of any criminal charges brought against them. Bloody marvellous document. We've got another one as well. We've got this is a powerful international document, people. This is the International Covenant of Civil and Political Rights. This was formulated by the General Assembly on 16th of December 1966, and it came into entry in force in 1976. Now, these are not my laws. These are their laws. These are what binds them. It binds the courts. It binds the police. It stops them from turning into a tyranny. And if our system was to be observing these universal declarations that it ratified, it signed into and said, yeah, we're going to observe these for everyone around the world. We're going to observe this. We're coming into this international way now. We're going to have this. For them to be turning against it makes them a Stasi, because if they was observing these two fundamental documents, the police would not be twisting people up. Police would not be... I see this kid the other day have handcuffs put on a guy, and they were so tight that they've cut and the damage. And can you imagine all your nerves? All your nerves running down here, all your blood supply, all your nerves, your tendons, the damage that they're causing. But they don't care because they've got the NHS to patch it up, right? They just go, oh, well. And then the NHS, well, how did you get these injuries? Oh, the police did it to me. And the NHS will cover up the police criminality. Instead, the NHS people, the doctors and nurses should be going, no, that ain't right. We're going to file a complaint. We're going to hold this constable accountable. He's going to lose his job because he's violated the people. Now, I understand there's a lot of people out there that are not very nice. And I can understand that maybe the police do lend themselves to frustration and that they apparently got their hands tied. But the trouble is, when you take an imperialistic stance and you say, we're the master race, we're going to live because they only get their authority from this. And once you dig into this, you'll soon see that they actually have no authority at all. They should be whiter than white. They should be making sure that they're spotless, that they're not harming anybody, that they're doing the correct thing, and they're not. They've turned into a really nasty thing, and I despise it. So we got the International Covenant of Civil and Political Rights. You can print these off. You can keep them on you. You can send them out to your local representatives in your area. See, it says the state parties to the present covenant. This is a covenant. This is proper powerful in their system. This is proclaimed, and a proclamation is very powerful. It is principles proclaimed in the Charter of the United Nations, the UN. The UN, apparently a big powerful organisation. And it says of the inherent dignity and the equal of all inalienable rights of all members of a human family on the foundation of freedom, justice and peace in the world. Recognise that these rights derive from the inherent dignity of mankind. Recognising in accordance with the Universal Declaration of Rights, the idea of free beings enjoying civil and political freedoms and freedoms from fear and want can only be achieved if conditions are created whereby everyone can enjoy civil and political rights as well as his economic, social and cultural rights. Article 1. This is, mate, you should be printing these off and sending them off and holding all of your local authorities, hold their hands to the fire. You should be doing this. All people have the right to self-determination. By virtue of that right, they freely determine their pursuits and their economic, social and cultural development. It's so powerful. So powerful. We have a situation in this country now, ladies and gentlemen, where if you die or you're not treated or you're not given oxygen or a ventilator and you pass away, you're put into a double zip bag, you're taken to a funeral directors, you're taken to the incinerator and you are gone. You're toast. No coroner's report, no cause of death. Is there any foul play? This is what the state's done. The state has become a jackass where it is, and it's breaching all the safeguards. Yeah. You safeguard your children. When they go to school, you make sure that they're all right. You say to them, you're being bullied. You're all right. No one's trying to play around with no. Righto. So you safeguard your children and your family and your loved ones, and so you should. And these are the safeguards that's placed and limitations that are placed on the system, and they're abusing it. No one's holding these people accountable so that the safeguards are kept in check. And we've allowed this to happen. And I come in here just to say to people, look, you know, we're in a situation now, it's very dangerous. We're at a very dangerous point in history and we need to be paying attention. All right, people are out there clapping, laughing for the NHS. That's fine. Let them crack on. That's not a problem. Everyone has their own free will and desire to be happy and free. That's their choice. If they want to clap the NHS, go out and clap the NHS. But we've not kept check on these people. Article 6 of the International Covenant of Civil and Political Rights. Everyone has an inherent right to life. The right shall be protected by law. No one shall be arbitrarily deprived of his life. Well, we've got people dying in police cells, all covered up. We've had over 1,000, just under 2,000 people die in police custody since the late 80s. No coppers have been held accountable. None of them. And it clearly says here in this Universal Declaration that no one shall be arbitrarily deprived of his life. Well, that's what's happening. If you're dying in a police cell and it's covered over and no one's ever been held accountable, then they're arbitrarily depriving you of your life. And you have to fundamentally understand that your life is the value. Your life is the absolute value in this system. Without you, this system doesn't exist. You are the true equitable value in this world. You truthfully are. Article 7. Now listen to this. No one shall be subjected to torture or to cruel, inhumane or degrading treatment or punishment. In particular, no one shall be subject without his free consent to medical or scientific experimentation. Right. So you have the free will to go and be tested for COVID-19 or have this vaccine or this disease or wherever it is, this virus placed into your body. That's your free will. You have the free will to do that. If you want to go and earn a few quid out of it and take a chance, that's up to you. But that's the devil dangling his carrots in front of you. The only way we keep this country clean and safe is by holding everybody in our public sector to account, and we hold their feet to the fire and say, these are your laws. You ratified these. You swore that you would uphold these and you've abused them. And you're turning a blind eye to the abuses. The courts can't deal with the police. They're telling them that they're out of order, they shouldn't be doing what they're doing. And yet the police carry on because there's no one safeguarding us against the old bill. The old bill have become a tyranny. They are a tyranny. And it hurts me to say that. It absolutely detests me to talk this way. But I'm not going to sit here and do this. And then in 30 years or 20 years' time, you're being shot on the street by the old bill because you won't comply or follow orders. And we have a mass genocide, and our elderly people are being genocided right now, but no one cares. No one's paying attention. Some of us are. We're trying to. No, anyone who is deprived of his liberty by arrest or detention shall be entitled to take proceedings before a court in order that the court may decide without delay. Without delay? Do you know how long a court case takes nowadays? On the lawfulness of his detention and order the release of the detention if it's not lawful. Now, lawful and legal, massive difference apart. You've got two worlds there. You've got the lawful world and you've got the legal world. Remember, Adolf Hitler, everything he did, he put through his parliament was legal. The killing of millions of Jews was legal. The shooting of people on the street was legal. Everything he did was legal. Within his government, it was all. No one shall be imprisoned merely on the grounds of inability to fulfill a contractual obligation. So Article 11 there is clearly, if you've got a bill like a debt and a bailiff's going, if you don't come round, we're going to arrest you and put you in prison. Sorry, you're breaking the convention rights here, and I'll take you to the UN if I have to. Who the hell are you? It says no one should be imprisoned, and a monetary thing is a contract. You sign on a dotted line. That's a contract. So that's a contractual obligation. All right. And another thing you might want to be paying attention to, all your logbooks and stuff that are coming through for your motors are all coming through in all uppercase, right? They're all uppercase. So what you got to do is this is the original contract that my parents entered into with the state party. And you can clearly see that the names are written in lower case. This is the contract that exists. So for them to correctly address, they should be writing it all in lower case. All right. Not this uppercase, dog Latin, capitalized, capita de minutia language. It's a dog language. It's a foreign language. It's not English language. Everyone shall be free to leave any country, including his own. So why are we having all this trouble at airports with passports and stuff? Article 12 of that civil and political rights, it says that everyone shall be free to leave a country, including his own. Hang on, I think I might have someone at the gate. Stay with me 2 seconds. I can hear the dogs barking. Oh dear, sorry people. We just had my roof bars turn up for me solar panels. Whew. I love my little dog. She's gorgeous. She lets me know when someone's at the gate. I didn't have any cameras on. I've got security cameras on here, but I wasn't watching. So clearly you can see there, everyone is free to leave their own country and return. So why do we go for all this rigmarole? Do you know what I mean? It's a nonsense. Carlos, hello, Carlos. Nice to see you. Mervyn Brill, all right, son. I just thought I'd pop in here. I'm trying to grow this channel, trying to grow it. Once I get to 1,000 subscribers, I took my breath away. I'll be able to live on here, live on my other device. It's going to be so much easier. We need to get this message out because our people in government and the police are now acting criminally. They're actually criminals. They've turned into a superstars-y state. It's disgusting, and I hope and pray that more and more of you are seeing it. I really do. Here we go. This is another laugh. Check this one out. All are equal before the courts and tribunals, but you have to pay. You're not equal. If you're all equal, you shouldn't have to. So you're all equal. This declaration saying you're all equal before the courts and tribunals in the determination of any criminal charge against him or his rights and obligation in the suit of law. Everyone's entitled to a fair hearing by a competent, independent and impartial tribunal established by law. Bomb, bomb, bomb. Everyone charged with a criminal offence have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. That's changed in this country. We're no longer innocent until you've got private corporation companies coming round, kicking your doors in, taking your doors off the hinges, taking your stuff, taking your kids. It's not a proper court of law. It's arbitrary deprivation. So our system is breaching all of these international covenant of civil and political rights, the UN Declaration of Rights of 1948, which all the countries signed up and ratified and proclaimed. They're breaking all of them. We've now got a Stasi government. Who is it we should be serving? We should be serving. So I'm going to get going in a second. I've got stuff to do, but I wanted to come in this afternoon to have a quick chat with you gorgeous people. What is God's covenant with man? Right? And that's the only thing, our only obligation is to honour that covenant. All right? And the covenant in a nutshell is this book. We should be getting on with one another. We should be respecting each other in his property and in his privacy. We only have an obligation to the Almighty. We don't have an obligation to any other man, this government. And this government only has authority if it is established and based in this book. And clearly that's not happening. So they therefore they've got no obligation. They're just a Stasi now. All equal guilty and about to be robbed by the system. Yeah, you're right. This couple, I've just been in their 80s. They're seeing it as a big swindle. She said, we went through the wars. We didn't have none of this nonsense. We had bombs dropping on us. Doodle bugs flying over. We had our body parts from our family members were flying through the air. It was like watching X Factor. Someone's arm fly through the air. She said, but we just got on with life. We didn't have... She said, I don't understand mankind now. She said, me and my husband just keep ourselves to ourselves. She said, we're not part of this new world. She said, it's disgraceful. And I agree with her. So our only obligation, our first requirement is God's covenant with man. That's all we have to do. And once we stand and we walk in that book, man, I tell you, you're going to see mountains move and the system will just go, oh, we can't mess with this one. We have to. We've got to do this because we need to come back to some good stuff, peeps. We really do. So I hope that's been a bit of an explanation this afternoon. The Constitution is the solution. The Constitution is something that protects us from tyrannical governments, and it works. Let me tell you, it works. It's very powerful. If any of you find yourself in hot water, if you just remind all of these people, whoever it is that's coming at you, that we are this is a constitutional monarchy. The people place their trust in Her Majesty the Queen, who to me is abusing that and has turned her back on us so long ago. It's disgraceful behaviour. But when she remind all the courts and that the Constitution is king and that the Constitution top trumps all these acts and statutes, you'll find yourself, your life will start becoming freer. And I think we need to use the Constitution to bring us back, to have a stop point and a start point. So we go from the old to and that it's just like a reset kind of thing. We go from all this nonsense, we reassert the Constitution and the rule of law, and we go forward again. It needs to happen, and it needs to happen more now than ever before. And I'm just someone that cares, people. I just care about you guys. I care about your futures. I care about your liberty, your life, your property. I really do. And we find ourselves in a really grave place right now where the system's taking just proper liberties with us, and we can't tolerate that. We've got to stop that. So, peeps, I might come back to you a little bit later tonight. Be respectful to one another, but this lockdown business, I can't see it lasting for much longer. It's pretty much shown the government up for what they truthfully are, and I think now most people in this country are now seeing what's going on, and they're not happy about it. So I love you as always. Stay blessed. Stay tuned. Please subscribe. Hit the bell button for further notifications, and let's grow this channel together. Loads out in Gravesend today. Gravesend, Merv, is that where you are, fella? I've used to do loads of work down Gravesend, Northfleet, and around that area. So, yeah, I'll catch up with you all a little bit later today. Thanks for tuning in. It's beautiful to have this live stream now all sorted out, so it's not buffering, and that come from a reset from this device. So let's see what the future brings. The future's bright. The future is orange. Let's get England back. Let's get our Constitution back. Let's sort out these criminals in government that are devouring us right now. And we have to put on the armour. Yeah, the full armour of God, Ephesians. Yes, mate. God bless you. If anyone wants to do Bible studies with me, you're more than welcome to. We go through the Holy Scripture. But whether that's your bag, that's not your bag. It's kept me safe over the years. Man, I tell you, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, I was getting letters. You're going to prison. If you don't pay this fine, you're going to prison. This, that, from these HM tribunal courts. I rung them up and just went mental at them. I said, "Don't you touch me. I'm not your property. I'm the property of Almighty God." And no one's ever been near me. No one's ever been near me. So when you invoke that higher power, that spirit, you'll see really good things happen. And who wouldn't want that? Peeps, I love you as always. I'll catch up with you maybe later today or over the weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Don't get depressed. Stay solid. Stay focused. Stay powerful. All right? And together, we can beat this tyranny. Trust me.